I quietly paid my family's mortgage for 5 years while they mocked me for being too cheap to go on their luxurious vacations. They didn't realize I was the reason they still had a roof over their heads. Until, for 5 long years, I let my family bleed me dry, pouring every spare dime into their collapsing house. But the day I stumbled upon that dusty foreclosure notice, the sickening truth hit me like a physical blow. I wasn't just their good daughter. I was the biggest fool alive, caught in a trap they'd meticulously set. My name is Amber, and until that moment I genuinely believed I was just being the responsible one, the frugal one, the boring one. At least that's what my sister Jayla constantly reminded me. She was currently holding court at her marble-countered kitchen island, waving a mimosa like a queen. "You should really come with us this time, Amber," Jayla chirped, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her glass. "I mean, when was the last time you took a real vacation?" I took a sip of my plain orange juice. Someone had to drive Mom and Dad home, and forced a smile. "I'm good. Got some work projects coming up." "Always working." Mom, adjusting her new designer sunglasses, sighed dramatically. "Honey, you're going to wake up one day and realize life passed you by." If only they knew. Every single month for the past 5 years, I was quietly transferring $2,400 to keep their house from being taken away. That's nearly $150,000 of my boring life choices just gone. "Speaking of passing by," Tanner chimed in, draping an arm around his girlfriend Julia, "we're thinking about joining that Greece trip next month, the one you bailed on." Jayla snickered. "Someone has to stay behind and clip coupons." Amber would probably rather buy bulk toilet paper than swim in Santorini. Everyone laughed. Even Dad, who should know better, chuckled along while helping himself to more of the expensive brunch spread. The one I was sure Jayla charged to her already maxed out credit card. "I just prefer being practical," I said, the words tasting bitter. "Speaking of which, Dad, did you need me to stop by later? You mentioned something about the house." He waved dismissively. No. All sorted. Just a minor repair thing." I noticed Mom shoot him a quick, nervous look. After 5 years of watching their cell signals, I'd become fluent in their silent, desperate language of financial ruin. "You sure?" I pressed. "I don't mind." "Oh, look at these photos from the spa day," Mom interrupted, pulling out her phone. "Jayla treated me last weekend. Wasn't that sweet of her?" Sweet, right? The spa day that probably cost what I put into their mortgage account last week. The brunch dragged on, a parade of humble brags and pointed jabs at my lifestyle. I sat through it all, mentally calculating how many overtime hours I'd worked to keep their lights on, while they planned their next luxury purchase. Later that evening I drove them home. Mom was tipsy, rambling about Jayla's natural gift for living life to the fullest. Dad was unusually quiet. "I'll help you get her inside," I offered, pulling into their driveway. "No need," Dad said quickly. "You've done enough today." He had no idea how true that statement was. I should have left then. Should have driven straight home to my modest apartment with its sensible furniture and carefully budgeted life. Instead, I remembered Dad mentioning he needed his old drill, and I knew exactly where it was. In his desk drawer in the garage. The garage was dim and cluttered when I entered. Dad's desk sat in the corner, a relic from his contractor days before everything fell apart. I pulled open the drawer, and there it was. Not the drill, but a stack of papers that made my blood run cold. Foreclosure notices, bank warnings, final demands, all dated months before I ever started helping them. My hands trembled as I flipped through them. They knew. They'd known exactly how bad things were when they first started dropping hints about temporary financial help. They'd let me believe I was preventing a crisis when, in reality, I was just cleaning up a mess they'd hidden from me. All while they watched me sacrifice, save, and strain, and then mocked me for it. My phone buzzed. A text from Jayla. "Thanks for brunch, sis. By the way, Mom's treating us to a shopping spree tomorrow with her surprise bonus. Sure you don't want to join? Maybe we can find you something that isn't from the clearance rack." Mom's surprise bonus. My mortgage payment. Their jokes. My sacrifices. Something clicked. A gear finally engaging. A fire igniting. I carefully returned the papers to the drawer, closed it softly, and walked out of the garage. For 5 years, I'd been the family joke while being their financial savior. But as I drove home in my 6-year-old Honda, the one Tanner loved to call my starter car, I realized something profound. I wasn't laughing anymore. And soon neither would they. The bank statement spread across my dining room table screamed a story of betrayal. 5 years of transactions, each one a fresh stab to the gut. Holy, Violet said, adjusting her glasses as she examined the papers. My best friend since law school had seen her share of financial disasters, but even she looked stunned. Amber, this is methodical exploitation. I pointed to a series of transfers. Look at these dates. Every time I increased the payment amount, they made a major purchase within weeks. New car for Tanner. Jayla's emergency spa weekend. Mom's kitchen renovation. They were counting on your payments, Amber, Violet said, her lawyer voice chillingly calm. Using them as guaranteed income while maintaining their lifestyle. Have you calculated the total? $144,800, I replied. The number burned into my brain. Not even counting all the emergency amounts they'd periodically demand. My phone buzzed. Another text from Jayla. OMG sis, just landed my biggest influencer deal yet. Taking mom to Aspen next month with her bonus. Don't worry, we'll send pics. I showed Violet the message. Her expression darkened. Your mom's bonus is your money, isn't it? It has to be. She hasn't worked in 3 years. I sank into a chair. I feel so stupid. No, Violet said firmly. They're the stupid ones. They've left a paper trail a mile wide. What are you going to do? Before I could answer, my phone rang. It was Dad. Hey, sweetie, he said, his voice carrying that familiar note of forced casualness. Quick question. Remember that little extra help you've been giving us? Any chance we could bump it up a bit? Property taxes are due. And with Tanner's new business venture. My throat tightened. What business venture? I asked, the words feeling foreign. He just laughed it off, talking about crypto and startup capital. That was it. The last straw. Actually, Dad, I said, my voice surprisingly steady, I wanted to talk about the mortgage payments. Silence. Then, now is not a good time, honey. Can we discuss this later? Your mother's calling me. And then he hung up. Coward, Violet muttered. I pulled up my banking app and started doing calculations. I could have bought my own house by now. Instead, I'd been paying for theirs while they treated you like their personal piggy bank, Violet finished. She pulled out her laptop. Let's document everything. Bank statements, text messages, emails. Anything showing the pattern. We spent hours building the file. Every transaction told another part of the story. My deposit dates matching their extravagant purchases. Their carefully timed emergency requests coinciding with vacations and shopping sprees. My phone kept lighting up with family messages. Mom. Darling, have you seen Jayla's amazing news? She's doing so well. Wish you'd let yourself enjoy life a little more like her. Tanner. Hey sis, got a fantastic investment opportunity. Guaranteed returns. Need about $20,000 to get in on the ground floor. Let me know. Julia. Girl, you should really join us for dinner soon. Tanner says you're amazing with financial advice. I silenced the phone and looked at Violet. They're never going to admit what they did, are they? People like this rarely do, she said, closing her laptop. But you have options. We can start with a formal demand letter. No, I interrupted, an idea forming. I want something more personal. My fingers flew across the keyboard, pulling up the family group chat, where they were all still gushing about Jayla's influencer deal and Mom's upcoming Aspen trip. They loved an audience, so I'd give them one. Let's do dinner at the house next Saturday. My treat. I have some exciting news to share. The responses flooded in immediately. Mom. Finally. Are you seeing someone? Jayla. OMG. Did you actually buy something fun? Tanner. Free dinner? I'm in. They think I'm going to announce some life change they can mock. I explained to Violet. Instead, I'm going to show them exactly who's been keeping their perfect little world afloat. I looked at the stack of evidence we'd compiled. And then, I'm going to let it sink in. Violet grabbed her purse, heading for the door. She paused, turning back. Just be prepared. When people like this get exposed, they don't get sorry. They get mean. I nodded, already knowing what was coming. But for the first time in 5 years, I wasn't afraid of their reaction. I was counting on it. The week before the dinner, I decided to dig deeper into the house records. What I found made my previous discoveries look like pocket change. "You've got to be kidding me," I muttered, staring at the county records website. 3 equity loans taken out on the house since I started paying the mortgage. All under Tanner's name. My brother, the eternal entrepreneur, had been using the house as his personal credit line while I kept the lights on. My phone rang. Mom calling. I almost ignored it, but something made me answer. "Honey, about Saturday's dinner," she started, her voice syrupy sweet. "I was thinking maybe we should do it at that new bistro downtown instead. The house is a bit... Well, you know how your father gets about cleaning." "No, Mom. It needs to be at the house." I kept my voice steady. "Trust me." "Well, if you insist. Though I don't know why you're being so mysterious about this announcement. You're not pregnant, are you? Because honestly, darling, in your situation, my situation, you know what I mean. Single, focused on work. We worry about you, sweetie. You work so hard. But what's it all for if you're not living?" The irony almost made me laugh. Almost. "I'll see you Saturday, Mom." I hung up and pulled up Instagram, where Jayla's latest post showed her lounging by a hotel pool. Sometimes you just need a mental health day. Self-care souls are blessed. The timestamp? Yesterday, when I was covering their property tax payment. A memory hit me. 3 years ago, right after Dad's contracting business failed, I'd just gotten a promotion and mentioned maybe buying a condo. "Oh, honey," Mom had said. "But who would help us with the house? We're not getting any younger, and you know how your father's pride works. He'd never accept help from strangers, but he'd accept it from you, as long as it was secret. As long as they could pretend." My doorbell rang. It was Tanner. Unannounced as usual. "Sis." He hugged me before I could stop him. "Was in the neighborhood. Thought I'd drop by." "Really? This far from your usual spots?" He laughed, making himself at home on my couch. "Can't a brother visit?" "Actually, about that investment opportunity, the crypto thing, better NFTs. Ground floor opportunity. Just needs some startup capital." He pulled out his phone. "Look at these projections." "How much?" "Just 25K. I know it sounds like a lot, but like the equity loans." The words slipped out before I could stop them. He froze. "What?" "Nothing," I forced a smile. "Tell me more about these NFTs." He launched into his pitch, but his eyes kept darting around, nervous. He knew I knew something. My phone pinged with a notification. Jayla posted again. "Shopping therapy with my amazing mom. Blessed are our mother-daughter days." Attached was a photo of them at some luxury boutique, Mom modeling an expensive-looking dress. "Hey," Tanner said, noticing my expression. "You okay? You seem different lately." "Do I? Maybe I'm just tired of working so hard." He shifted uncomfortably. "Yeah, you do work a lot. We worry, you know. All that stress isn't good for you." Funny how no one worried about my stress when I caught myself. "Never mind. About that investment. Yeah, I'll think about it." My tone made him stand up. "Right. Well, let me know before Saturday. Speaking of which, what's this big announcement? Mom thinks you're either pregnant or joined a cult." I walked him to the door. "You'll find out Saturday." After he left, I checked my bank account. Another automatic transfer to their mortgage was pending. My finger hovered over the cancel button. Not yet. My phone buzzed again. A text from Julia. "Hey future sis. Tanner mentioned you might be helping with his new business venture. You're such an amazing sister. Can't wait for Saturday." I thought about all the times I could have said no. All the times I almost did. The day I got approved for my own mortgage but canceled it because Mom called crying about their heating bill. The vacation I canceled when Tanner needed emergency car repairs. The savings account I drained when Dad's business failed. Each time I convinced myself it was temporary. Each time I told myself that's what family does. But family doesn't do this. I opened my laptop and started preparing the files I'd need for Saturday. Bank statements. Loan documents. Property records. Every receipt. Every transfer. Every lie. They wanted an announcement. They'll get one. And this time I won't be the only one losing sleep over money. Amber. I looked up from my coffee, and for a moment I forgot about Saturday's dinner, about bank statements, about everything. Because standing in front of me was Deacon. And he looked exactly the same as he did in college. "I thought that was you," he said, smiling. "That crooked smile I used to dream about. Mind if I join you?" I gestured to the empty chair at my cafe table. "Still taking your coffee black?" "Some things never change." He sat down, setting his laptop bag aside. "Though some things do. Heard you're some hotshot senior auditor now. And you're still stalking my LinkedIn." He laughed. "Guilty. We're actually working in the same building. I saw you in the lobby last week, but you seemed preoccupied. Probably the day I found the foreclosure notices." "Yeah, just family stuff." "Awkward." His expression shifted. "The famous Blake family drama. Still playing ATM for them." I nearly choked on my coffee. "How did you remember that?" "That night in senior year, when you got that call from your mom about their heating bill. You canceled our weekend trip to cover it." He stirred his coffee. "Some patterns are hard to break. You knew back then. I knew you deserved better than being their safety net. Still do." Something about his directness, his memory of that precise moment, broke something loose inside me. Before I could stop myself, I was telling him everything. The mortgage payments. The hidden foreclosure notices. The planned confrontation. Jesus, Amber. His knuckles were white around his coffee cup. "That's not family. That's financial abuse." "I know. I can't believe I let it go on so long." "Because you're a good person. They weaponized that." He leaned forward. "So what's the plan besides this dinner showdown?" "I haven't thought past Saturday, honestly." "Stop the payments," he said immediately. "Cold turkey. Let them figure it out." But what? What they think. That's on them, not you." My phone buzzed. Tanner again. "Sis, about that investment. Got some people really interested. Need an answer ASAP." Deacon read the message over my shoulder and scoffed. "Let me guess. Crypto or NFTs?" "Both, apparently." "Classic. You know what's worse than enabling them? Enabling them while they mock you for being responsible." He's right. I know he's right. But they're still my family. "Are they?" He caught my eye. "Because from where I'm sitting, they're just people who share your DNA and drain your bank account." My phone buzzed again. Mom this time. "Darling, need to finalize numbers for Saturday. Jayla's bringing her new photographer friend to document your announcement." "So exciting." "They think I'm announcing something life-changing," I explained to Deacon. "They have no idea." "Oh, it'll be life-changing, all right," he grinned. "Just not in the way they expect." For the first time in weeks I laughed. Really laughed. "God, I've missed you." "Missed you too." He glanced at his watch. "I should head back to work." "But listen." He pulled out a business card, wrote something on the back. "This is my personal number. If you need backup on Saturday, or just want to talk, call me." I took the card, our fingers brushing. "Thanks, Deacon." "And Amber." He stood, gathering his things. "Whatever happened Saturday, remember? You're not the bad guy here. They are." After he left, I sat there, turning his card over in my hands. My phone buzzed one more time. Tanner. "Hey, since you're treating Saturday, mind if I bring a few potential investors? Great networking opportunity. Also, can you make it that pasta thing you do? Julia loves it. P.S. Still need that answer about the investment." TikTok. I stared at the message, feeling something shift inside me. The same brother who took out secret equity loans on the house now wants to bring investors to dinner? The same brother who mocks my boring job wants my money for his schemes? I picked up my phone and typed, "Sure, bring whoever you want. The more witnesses, the better." Then I pulled out my laptop and opened the folder labeled Saturday. Time to add a few more receipts to the pile. Because Deacon's right. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just the one who's finally done playing nice. My finger hovered over the mortgage payment account. One click and I could stop it all now. Not yet. Let them have their last supper. Let them bring their photographers and investors and expectations. Let them think they still have me fooled. Saturday couldn't come soon enough. "Everything's in here," Violet said, handing me a sleek black folder. Bank statements, property records, equity loan documents, text message screenshots. All chronological, all annotated. She'd even included a timeline of their purchases matched against my transfers. We were in her office hours before the dinner. The folder felt heavy in my hands, weighted with 5 years of receipts and raw resentment. I still can't believe Tanner took out those equity loans, I said, flipping through the pages. 3 of them, Violet corrected. And guess what else I found? He's been subletting the pool house on Airbnb, pocketing the money while you pay the mortgage. My phone chimed. Mom. Honey, we invited the Petersons too. Hope that's okay. They're dying to hear your news. The Petersons? Violet asked. They're country club friends. Mom's trying to turn this into a social event. I scrolled through more messages. She'd invited half the neighborhood. Perfect, Violet smirked. Bigger audience. My phone rang. It was Deacon. Just checking in, he said when I answered. Need any backup tonight? I think I've got it covered, but thanks. Call me after. I want to hear everything. After hanging up, I caught Violet's raised eyebrow. What? Nothing, she said, a small smile playing on her lips. Just nice to see you reconnecting with someone who actually cares about you. I checked my watch. 2 hours until dinner. I should go get ready. Wait. Violet pulled something from her desk. Wear this. It was a crisp white blazer. Elegant but powerful. Your court blazer. You're presenting evidence, aren't you? Might as well look the part. At home I laid everything out. Violet's blazer. The black folder. My laptop with all the digital copies. A small voice recorder, Violet's suggestion just in case. My phone kept buzzing. Jayla. OMG sis. My photographer friend is so excited. Should we do before and after shots of your announcement? Julia. Can't wait to hear your news. Tanner. The investors are super interested in meeting you. Mom. Darling, we're setting up the good china and I got champagne for after your announcement. I took a deep breath and started getting ready. Hair smooth and professional. Minimal makeup. Violet's blazer fit perfectly. The folder went into my laptop bag along with a USB drive containing 5 years of digital records. I checked everything 3 times. One last text came through from Dad. Your mother's very excited about tonight. Whatever you're planning, just be gentle with her. My hands shook as I read it. Did he know? Had he figured it out? Too late now. I grabbed my keys and headed out. The drive to my parents' house felt surreal, like I was watching someone else steer the car. Their driveway was already full of expensive vehicles. Looks like Mom really did invite everyone. Through the front window I could see people milling around. Jayla's photographer friend was setting up lights. Tanner was talking animatedly to a group of men in business casual. Must be his investors. My phone buzzed one last time. It was Deacon. Remember, you're not the bad guy. Give them hell. I touched the folder in my bag, straightened Violet's blazer, and walked to the door. Before I could knock, it swung open. There's my baby. Mom pulled me into a perfumed hug. Everyone's been asking about you. Come in, come in. The house was packed. I recognized the Petersons, some neighbors, faces from Mom's social circle. Jayla was holding court by the fireplace, posing for her photographer. Tanner immediately waved me over to his group. Sis. Perfect timing. These gentlemen were just asking about investment opportunities. Later. I cut him off. Let's eat first. Mom clapped her hands. Yes. Everyone to the dining room. Amber darling, we put you at the head of the table. Since it's your special night. I followed the crowd into the dining room. The table was set with the good china. Crystal glasses sparkling. Name cards marked each place. Fresh flowers everywhere. All paid for with my last mortgage payment, no doubt. Speech. Someone called out as we settled in. Tell us the big news. Yes, honey. Mom beamed. Don't keep us in suspense. I looked around the table. At Mom's expectant smile. At Dad's nervous eyes. At Jayla's camera-ready pose. At Tanner whispering to his investors. My hand touched my laptop bag. Actually, I said, standing slowly, my voice clear. I do have something to share with everyone. The room quieted. Phones came out to record. The photographer raised her camera. I unzipped my bag and pulled out the sleek black folder. It's about the house, I continued, watching their faces. And some very interesting financial records I found. Mom's smile flickered. Dad went pale. Tanner stopped mid-whisper. Time to burn it all down. Before I begin, I said, opening the folder, I want to thank everyone for coming, especially the Petersons. You've known our family for 20 years now? Mrs. Peterson nodded, beaming. We wouldn't miss your big announcement for the world, dear. Perfect. Then you'll appreciate this story. I pulled out the first document. It starts 5 years ago with this foreclosure notice. The room went silent. Dad's hand tightened around his wine glass. Amber. Mom laughed nervously. Nobody wants to hear about boring paperwork. Tell them your news. This is my news, I said, placing the notice on the table. See? 5 years ago, I started paying the mortgage on this house. $2,400 every single month, like clockwork. Jayla's photographer kept snapping photos. I could see the exact moment realization slammed into my sister's face. But here's where it gets interesting, I continued, pulling out more papers. While I was keeping this roof over our heads, some fascinating purchases were being made. I started laying out bank statements, matching them with social media posts I'd printed. Here's my March payment, and here's Jayla's Aspen trip that same week. April payment, Mom's kitchen renovation. May payment, Tanner's new car. Amber, stop this right now, Mom hissed. But I wasn't done. Oh, and these are special. I pulled out the equity loan documents. 3 separate loans taken out against the house. The same house I've been paying for. Want to explain these, Tanner? My brother stood abruptly. This is ridiculous. We're here for a celebration. We are celebrating. I cut him off. We're celebrating the end of this arrangement. One of Tanner's investors cleared his throat. Perhaps we should step out? No. Please stay, I said. You should know who you're potentially investing with. Someone who takes out secret loans on property they don't pay for, then tries to scam his sister for crypto money. That's enough. Dad slammed his hand on the table. Glasses rattled. You're right. It is enough. I pulled out my phone, opening my banking app. Which is why I just canceled the automatic mortgage payment. The words hung in the air, heavy with consequence. For the first time in 5 years, this house is your problem again. Mom started to cry. Her practiced theatrical sobs. How could you do this to us? To your family. Family. I laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. Was it family when you mocked my boring lifestyle while spending my money? Was it family when you hid the foreclosure notice and manipulated me into paying your debts? Jayla stood up, wobbling slightly from wine. You're just jealous because I actually made something of myself. You made Instagram posts with my mortgage payments. My voice rose. Every time I transferred money to save this house, you were at a spa, or on vacation, or buying designer clothes. The photographer's camera kept clicking. Good. Let her document this. Mom turned desperately to Mrs. Peterson. You see how she's treating us after all we've done. All you've done. I pulled out one final document. Here's the total. $144,800. That's what I've paid while you lived your Instagram perfect lives. While you called me boring, frugal, a workaholic. The room erupted in whispers. Tanner's investors were already heading for the door. The Petersons exchanged horrified glances. And you know what the worst part is? I looked directly at my parents. You knew. You knew exactly what you were doing. Every time you asked for money, every time you watched me cancel my own plans to cover your bills, every time you laughed at my cheap lifestyle, you knew. Julia, Tanner's girlfriend, suddenly stood. I think I should go. Stay, I told her. You should see who you're really dating. A man who sublets the pool house on Airbnb, while his sister pays the mortgage. More guests started to leave. Mom's mascara was running. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. Amber. Jayla tried one last time. You're making a scene. No. I'm making things clear. I closed my folder. The payments stop now. The lies stop now. The manipulation stops now. I gathered my things, feeling lighter than I had in years. Oh, and Mom, I said, turning back one final time. That champagne you bought for my announcement? Put it on my tab. It'll be the last one. I walked toward the door. The table was a tableau of shocked faces, spilled wine, and scattered evidence of their betrayal. You know what's funny? I paused at the threshold. All these years you thought I was boring because I was careful with money, because I worked hard and lived within my means. But the real joke? I could have had everything you pretended to have. I just chose to save your house instead. I straightened Violet's blazer. Dinner's over. Good luck with the mortgage. The photographer caught one last shot as I left, head high, walking away from the ruins of their carefully constructed lies. Behind me I heard Mom wail. What will people think? For the first time in 5 years that wasn't my problem anymore. The aftermath hit in waves. First came the texts. A tsunami of family meltdown. Mom, how could you humiliate us like this after everything we've done for you? Jayla, hope you're happy. My photographer posted everything. My sponsors are dropping me. Tanner, you ruined my investment deals. This isn't over. Dad, we need to talk. Please. I blocked their numbers one by one. Deacon showed up at my apartment an hour after the dinner, holding takeout and wearing a concerned expression. Violet called me. Said you might need a friend tonight. Come in, I said, realizing I hadn't eaten anything since morning. It's done. How bad? Nuclear. I took the food container he offered. Mom cried. Dad raged. Jayla's sponsors are apparently reviewing their contracts. Tanner's crypto investors fled. Good. He sat beside me on the couch. They deserved worse. My phone kept lighting up with notifications. Emails now since they couldn't text. Mom, your father's blood pressure is through the roof. If anything happens to him, it's on your conscience. Jayla, my social media manager quit. Thanks for destroying my brand, sis. Julia, how could you do this to Tanner? He trusted you. They're still trying to make me the villain. I told Deacon, showing him the emails. Block those too, he said. They had 5 years of chances to do the right thing. A knock at the door made us both jump. It was Violet, looking fierce in her court suit. Came straight from work, she said, striding in. The photographer posted the whole thing online. It's spreading fast in your parents' social circle. How bad? She pulled out her phone, showing me a local community Facebook group. There were already dozens of comments. Can't believe the Blakes did this to their own daughter. No wonder they always had money for the country club. Those poor investors Tanner almost scammed. Your mom's bridge club is particularly vocal, Violet said, almost gleefully. Apparently, she bragged last week about her upcoming Aspen trip. They're not happy learning where that money came from. My laptop pinged. An email from work. My hand shook as I opened it. What is it? Deacon asked. Tanner, I read aloud. He's telling HR I hacked the family finances, trying to get me in trouble at work. Forward that to me, Violet said immediately. I'll handle it. We have documentation proving every payment was legitimate. Another knock. This time it was Dad, looking older than I'd ever seen him. Amber, please, he started, but Deacon stepped between us. She's not available, he said firmly. I'm her father. No, I said, finding my voice. You're my former landlord and I've moved out. Dad's face crumpled. The bank called without your payment. Not my problem anymore. After he left, I sank onto the couch between Deacon and Violet. I need to get out of here for a while. Clear my head. Use my beach house, Violet offered. Take a week. Let the dust settle. I'll drive you, Deacon added quickly. My phone buzzed one last time. An Instagram notification. Jayla's photographer friend had posted the dinner photos with a lengthy caption. Tonight, I witnessed a powerful moment of family truth. A story about financial abuse, gaslighting, and one woman's courage to expose it all. To the sister who funded their lifestyle while they mocked her choices. You're my hero. Sharp family drama. Cut. Justice. The receipts never lie. The post was going viral. Pack a bag, Deacon said, reading over my shoulder. You need space from this circus. While I was throwing clothes into a suitcase, Violet handled the logistics of my temporary escape. She called my boss, explaining the situation, set up mail forwarding, arranged for my apartment to be watched. One last thing, she said, pulling out her laptop. Want to see the house listing? What house listing? Your parents. They posted it an hour ago. Urgent sale. Immediate possession. I looked at the familiar facade. The manicured lawn I helped pay for. The pool house Tanner secretly rented out. You know what's weird? I zipped up my suitcase. I don't feel guilty anymore. Deacon took my bag. That's because you're free. As we headed to his car, more emails flooded in. Flying monkeys deployed by my family. How could you do this to your mother? Family matters should stay private. You've destroyed them. But for the first time in 5 years, their words had no power over me. Ready? Deacon asked, holding the car door. I looked back at my apartment, then at my phone showing the endless stream of family fallout. Yeah, I said, deleting the emails without reading them. I'm ready to live my own life. The car pulled away and I didn't look back. Let them deal with their mortgage, their reputation, their consequences. I've paid enough. The beach house became my sanctuary. But karma doesn't take vacations. Your story is trending, Violet told me over FaceTime. Someone posted it on Reddit. The comments are overwhelming. I was sitting on the deck watching waves crash, while Deacon made coffee inside. How bad is it? Not bad for you. People are calling you a hero. Your family, though. She winced. The internet is not kind to financial abusers. My laptop chimed with a new email from Jayla's biggest sponsor. Dear Miss Blake, we're reaching out regarding your sister's influencer contract. Given recent events and evidence of financial misrepresentation, we're terminating our partnership effective immediately. That's the third one today, I told Violet. Apparently, authenticity matters in influencer marketing. Speaking of authenticity, she said, have you seen the house listing updates? I pulled up the real estate site. The price had dropped twice already. The description now read, motivated sellers. All reasonable offers considered. They're desperate, Violet explained. The bank's pushing for immediate payment after those equity loans were exposed. Deacon came out with coffee, catching the end of our call. After Violet hung up, he sat beside me. Any regrets? He asked. Only that I didn't do it sooner. My phone rang. An unknown number. Usually I'd ignore it, but something made me answer. Is this Amber Blake? A woman's professional voice asked. I'm a producer with National Public Radio. We're doing a story on hidden financial abuse in families, and your story has caught our attention. I looked at Deacon, who nodded encouragingly. Actually, I told the producer, I think this is a story that needs to be told. The interview aired the following week. I told everything, the manipulation, the mockery, the secret payments. The producer asked hard questions about family loyalty and financial boundaries. What would you tell others in your situation? She asked. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep toxic people warm. The response was immediate. My inbox filled with messages from others sharing similar stories. Daughters, sons, siblings, all trapped in cycles of financial abuse masked as family duty. Then came the email from Julia. I left Tanner after seeing those documents. How could I stay? He tried to convince me you were lying, but the proof was right there. Thank you for opening my eyes. Deacon read it over my shoulder. One life saved already. Maybe more, I said, showing him another message. This one from Mrs. Peterson. Dear Amber, I've known your parents for 20 years. Play bridge with your mother every Thursday. After your revelation, I started questioning things. How many others have they manipulated? How many loans have they taken? I've spoken with the club board. Your mother's treasurer position has been reviewed. The house sold well below market value. I heard about it from the real estate agent herself, who reached out specifically to tell me your brother tried to block the sale, claiming partial ownership through those equity loans. The bank shut that down fast. Thought you should know, karma's real. Deacon brought me more coffee, then hesitated. Your dad called my office today. My stomach tightened. What did he want? To know if you'd reconsider. Said they've learned their lesson. He sat next to me. I told him lessons don't count if you're only sorry because you got caught. I checked my email one last time before bed. There's a message from a journalist. Your story has sparked an important conversation about financial abuse in families. Would you be interested in contributing to a book about setting healthy monetary boundaries? I thought about all the others out there, silently paying family bills while swallowing their pride. All the secret ATMs being drained by guilt and manipulation. Yes, I replied. I would. Deacon read my response and smiled. From victim to advocate. Nice plot twist. Speaking of twists, I pulled up my banking app. Look what I can afford now that I'm not paying someone else's mortgage. The down payment for my own house sat there, growing instead of shrinking. My money. My choice. My future. Ready to go house hunting? He asked. Actually, I closed the laptop. I think I'll enjoy renting a little longer. Build my savings. Travel some. Live the life they said I was wasting. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Violet. Your mom's bridge club is using your story as a warning tale. Don't pull an Amber is apparently their new code for catching someone in a financial lie. Thought you'd appreciate the irony. I did appreciate it. Just like I appreciated the waves crashing outside, the coffee growing cold beside me, and the man who helped me find my voice, sitting close enough to touch. You know what's funny? I told him. I spent 5 years saving their home, but I ended up saving myself instead. He took my hand and I let him. Because that's the thing about breaking free. It makes room for something better to begin.